Shabbat Shalom, Yashala, Shabbat Shalom. Dawad Abban Yashala coming out with another episode of bringing out those holy precepts on this holy Shabbat. Hope everybody's doing most high blessed. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, glory, and honor to Abanawa Yahweh, Bahashim, Hawashai, Bahashim, Rakar Kadash. True Father, Deliverer, and Savior's name is in ancient Paleo Hebrew, the original holy tongue. Again, Dawad Abban Yashala coming out with another episode of bringing out those holy precepts. I'm going to title this Sabbath lesson, My eyes shall not spare thee, I shall not have pity. My eyes shall not spare thee, and I shall have no pity. This is the Father talking about his judgment coming against the children of Israel. Black, Hispanic, Native of Indian and Negroid descent, to this day still living the ways of this world, serving these folly days, as they call it, the Halloween and Happy Thanksgiving and all this. My eyes shall not spare thee, and I will have no pity. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. We're going to be reading out of the book of Ezekiel. Book of Ezekiel chapter 5. Let's get it. Ezekiel 5 and verse 1 reads, And thou, son of man, take thee a sharp knife, take thee a barber's razor, and cause it to pass upon thy head and upon thy beard. Then take thee balance to weigh and divide the hair. Ezekiel 5 and verse 2. Thou shalt burn with fire a third part in the midst of the city, when the day of the siege are fulfilled. And thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife. And a third part thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them. Okay? This is the Most High bringing judgment to you Israelites still living the ways of this world and failing to hearken to his law, statutes, commandments. Okay, read verse 2 again. Thou shalt burn with fire a third part in the midst of the city. That's the fire that's coming to Babylon the Great, when the days of the siege are fulfilled. And thou shalt take a third part and smite about it with a knife. And a third part thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw out a sword after them. So what this precept is saying, 1/3 is going to burn in the midst of the city. 1/3 of the of Israel thou shalt take and smite with a knife, and a third part thou shalt scatter in the wind, and I will draw them out with a sword after them. Let's get the actual precept to prove this, what he's talking about. Let's go to Zechariah 13 and verse 8. Zechariah chapter 13 verse 8 reads, And it shall come to pass in all the land, saith Yahweh, 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third shall be left therein. You see, 2 parts going to be cut off and die. That's why 2/3 of Israel is going to be put to death. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. These are not my words. I'm just a messenger anointed to preach it. 2 parts therein shall be cut off and die, but the third part shall be left therein. Verse 9. Zechariah 13 and 9. And I will bring the third part through the fire, and will refine them as silver is refined, and will try them as gold is tried. They shall call on my name, and I will hear them. I will say, It is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power. Okay? 2/3 of Israel, that's 66.6%. Okay? I'll say it again. 2/3 of Israel, 66.6% going to be cut off and put to death for turning and want to live with the devil. 33.3% is going to make it through the fire. And they shall be tried as silver is refined and as gold is tried. And they shall call on my name, Yahweh, and I will hear them. I will say, it is my people, and they shall say, Yahweh is my power. Okay? Point blank, period. Let's get back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 5 and verse 3. Thou shalt also take thereof a few in numbers, and bind them in thy skirts. Okay? Ezekiel 5 and verse 4. Then take of them again and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire. Of thereof shall a fire come forth into all the house of Israel. You see that? Read it again, Ezekiel 5 and verse 4. This is for you black, Hispanic, Native, Indian, and Negro descent, still living the ways of this world, still celebrating demonic folly days here. Okay, Halloween, New Year's Eve, Xmas Day, the 4th of July, Thanksgiving. Okay, verse 4 again, take of them again and cast them into the midst of the fire, and burn them in the fire, for thereof shall a fire come forth into all the house of Israel. Verse 5, thus saith Yahweh thy power, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. Okay? The Bible's letting us know that it's talking about Jerusalem, not the land. It's talking about the people. See? He says, this is Jerusalem. I have set it in the midst of the nations and countries that are round about her. How? By slavery. Pursuant to Deuteronomy 28 and 68. Okay, where he says he's going to put Israel back into Egypt again by ships. Okay? I have set them in the midst of the nation and countries that are round about her. Ezekiel 5 and verse 6. And she hath changed my judgments into wickedness more than the nations. That's how wicked our people are. That's why we're getting judged here, to this day. Okay, and she has changed my judgment into wickedness more than the nations, and my statutes more than the countries that are round about her. For they have refused my judgments and my statutes, they have not walked in them. Okay? Point blank, period. The Most High is letting us know that his people, two-thirds of his people are worse than the heathens. Okay? My statutes that the countries that are round about her, for they have refused my judgment and statutes, they have not walked in them. What did the Father say in the Torah? Okay, for us not listening. Let's get it. Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 15 reads, but it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. You understand that? We don't want to hearken to this day. That's why we're cursed people out here. Last high, first fire, living on these government, so-called demonic programs out here, in the land of our captivity. Look at the judgment coming against Israel. Point blank, period. Blacks, Hispanic, Native, of Indian, Negro descent. Okay? But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of Yahweh thy power to do his commandments and his statutes which I command thee this day, all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee. Let's get another verse through the Spirit. Cursed shalt thou be in the city, and cursed thou shalt be in the field. No matter what city you're in, you're going to be cursed. No matter, the field is the world. And we're going to cover that. Cursed shall thy be thy basket and thy store. What does this mean? Any business that we put up. That's why we fail. But you see the other nations, They have these nail shops. They got these donkey hair shops. They got everything else. But us Israelites, Black, Spanish, Native, and Indian and Negro descent, we're cursed. Cursed shall thy basket and thy store. We're cursed. Okay? Deuteronomy 28 and 18. Cursed shall be the fruit of thy body. That's why we're suffering with all these diseases put on us by the Most High God, Yahweh. And the fruit of thy land, and the increase of thine kind, and the flocks of thy sheep. Okay? Point blank period. We're cursed for not coming to the law, statute, commandments. That's why 2/3 of you Israelites going to be put to death. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. I just proved it beyond a shadow of a doubt. Zechariah 13 and verse 8 and 9. Read it for yourselves. Or rewind this lesson and look up these precepts for yourselves. Ezekiel 5 and verse 8 reads, therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sights of the nations. Read it again, Ezekiel 5 and 8. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sights of the nations. So these nations, you got to understand something. Judgment starts in the house of Israel. Okay? Point blank period. Judgment starts in the house of Israel. These nations are going to see the Father judge us. Okay? That's the way it's written. Okay? Read it again. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee, in the midst of the nations. Verse 9. And I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of all thine abominations. You see that? I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of thine abominations. Okay? Bring out a couple of precepts. Let's bring out a couple of precepts. Let's go to Matthew 13 and start reading from the 37th verse, the parable of the tares, and it reads, he answered and said unto them, he that soweth the good seed is the Son of Man. Matthew 13 and 38, the King of Kings speaking in red letters, who this word going to call Jesus the Christ. The field is the world. The good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. Okay? Matthew 13:39 reads, the enemy that sold them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world. So when you see the word harvest, meaning the end of the world, the reapers are the angels. Okay? Matthew 13 and verse 40. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. Okay, this is the King of Kings letting you know that those that are gathered, those 2/3 that are being gathered to be destroyed here, they're going to burn in the fire. And that's how this world is going to end, by fire. Okay, point blank period. That's just the whole to this lesson. The judgment coming to this wicked demonic land, Babylon the Great, the United Snakes. That's what they are, a bunch of snakes. Okay, but they're going to pay for what they've done to the children of Israel. Thus saith the Lord, and thus saith the Holy Bible. Ezekiel 5 and 8 again. Therefore, thus saith Yahweh thy power, behold, I, even I, am against thee, and will execute judgments in the midst of thee in the sights of the nations. And I will do in thee which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more the like, because of thine abomination. That's the tribulation that the Messiah was talking about, that has never been seen on this earth. That's why the Father said, I will do in thee that which I have not done, and whereunto I will not do any more because of thy abomination. That's that tribulation and judgment coming to this land that this earth has never seen, pursuant to Matthew 24th chapter. Ezekiel 5 and verse 10. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee. Read it again. Therefore the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their fathers. Sounds like zombies to me. And I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all winds. Okay? Therefore the father shall eat the sons, and in the midst of thee, and the sons shall eat their father. Let's break that down in the blue letter, King James Blue Letter Bible. You see the precept right there, Ezekiel 5 and 10. Therefore the father shall eat the son in the midst of thee, and the son shall eat their father, and I will execute judgment in thee, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into the winds. Okay, let's look up that word, shall eat. Hebrew word 398. Get the biblical usage in this passage. Okay? Pronunciation. Achel. Achel. Biblical usage, to eat, devour, burn up, feed, to eat. Human subject, to eat, devour of birds, of beasts and birds. To devour, slay, to devour, consume, destroy, pestilence. I mean, you get the drift. Okay, to be eaten by men, to be devoured, consumed of fire, to be wasted, destroyed of flesh, to cause to eat, feed with, to cause to devour, to feed, to cause to eat, to consume. Okay, you get the drift of it. Let's get it again. Therefore, the fathers shall eat the sons in the midst of thee, and their sons shall eat their fathers, and I will execute judgment in the midst, and the whole remnant of thee will I scatter into all the winds. Ezekiel 5 and verse 11. Wherefore, as I live, saith Yahweh thy power, surely because thou hast defiled my sanctuary, and with all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee. Neither shall my eyes spare, neither will I have any pity. Read it again, Ezekiel 5 and 11. Wherefore, as I live, saith Yahweh thy power, surely, because thou hast defiled my sanctuary with all thy detestable things, and with all thine abominations, therefore will I also diminish thee. Neither shall my eyes spare, neither will I have pity. Point blank, period. That's what the Father's saying. Let's get a precept. Let's go to Ezekiel 9 and read from the 4th verse. Ezekiel 9 and 4 reads, And Yahweh said unto him, Go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. This is the sealment of the Most High's people. Okay, go through the midst of the city, through the midst of Jerusalem, set a mark upon the forehead of the men that sigh and cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. Ezekiel 9 and verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. What is the Father commanding his men out here walk, the 144,000 that's walking out here, and his angels to come with Yahweh Shai HaMashiach? Ezekiel 9 and verse 5. And to the others he said in my hearing, Go ye after him through the city and smite. Let not your eyes spare, neither have ye pity. Let's get another precepts. What is the Father saying here? Ezekiel 9 and verse 6. He says, Slay utterly old and young, both maids and little children, and women, But come not near any man whom is the mark, and begin at my sanctuary. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. You see that? My eyes shall not spare thee, and I shall not have pity. Ezekiel 9 and 6. Slay, old and young, both maids, little children, women, come not near any man who is the mark, that's the sealment of the Holy Spirit, and begin at my sanctuary. I said judgment starts in the house of Israel. Then they began at the ancient men which were before the house. Okay? Let's get a couple of more precepts. Let's go to let's talk about this fire. Let's talk about what the Most High is saying. 2 Thessalonians 1 and 8, and it reads, "In flaming fire, taking vengeance on them that know not the Most High, and that obey not the gospel of our Lord, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach." Okay? It's fire coming to this place. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Back to Ezekiel. Ezekiel 5 and 13. Thus shall my anger be accomplished. I will cause my fury to rest upon them, and I will be comforted. And they shall know that I am Yahweh, has spoken it in my zeal, when I have accomplished my fury in them. Okay, the Father ain't playing. He ain't sparing none, and he ain't having pity on none of you Israelites breaking his law, statute, commandments. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Ezekiel 5 and 14. Moreover, I will make thee waste, and a reproach amongst the nations that are round about thee, in the sight of all that pass by. Ezekiel 5 and 15. So it shall be a reproach and a taunt, an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgment in thee in anger and in fury and in furious rebukes. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. And I'm going to tell you something. I know you awoke Israelites. You know when the Father says, I, Yahweh, have spoken it, boy, he ain't playing. He ain't playing. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. I'm going to read it again, verse 15. So there shall be a reproach and a taunt and an instruction and an astonishment unto the nations that are round about thee, when I shall execute judgment in thee in anger and fury and in furious rebukes. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. Play with fire if you want to. I'm just here to bring out this gospel. Ezekiel 5 and 16. When I shall send upon them the evil arrows of famine, which shall be for their destruction, and I will send to destroy you, and I will increase the famine upon you, and I will break your staff of bread. Ezekiel 5 and 17. So will I send upon you the famine and the evil beasts, and they shall bereave thee, and pestilence and blood shall pass through thee, and I will bring the sword upon thee. I, Yahweh, have spoken it. My eye shall not spare thee, and I shall not have pity, the Father says. Point blank, period. Let's bring out a couple of more precepts. Let's go to the book of Amos, Amos 9 and 8. And it reads, Behold, the eyes of Yahweh thy power are upon the sinful kingdom. I will destroy it from the face of the earth, saving that I will not utterly destroy the house of Jacob, saith Yahweh. Amos 9 and 9. For lo, I will command, and I will sift the house of Israel amongst all nations, like as corn is sifted in the sleeve, yet shall not the least grain fall upon the earth. The Messiah is coming to gather his people, the elect, the righteous people, and 2/3 of Israel, blacks, Hispanic, native, Rabbinic, Negro descent, are going to burn here with the heathens. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Okay? Amos 9 and 10, and it reads, All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword, which say the evil shall not overtake nor prevent us. Okay? All the sinners of my people shall die by the sword. Point blank, period. Let's talk about those arrows. I brought it up in many lessons. Jeremiah 15:9, and it reads, For lo, I will raise and come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, which are now labeled BRICS, and you'll see them making nuclear threats to so-called America, Babylon the Great. For lo, I will raise and cause up to come against Babylon an assembly of great nations from the north country, and they shall set themselves in array against her. From thence she shall be taken. Their arrows shall be as a mighty expert man. What does that mean? Man-made. ICB, intercontinental ballistic missiles. Okay? And none shall return in vain. Okay? Those are the arrows that's coming to this land. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. I've covered that. I've covered that the Most High and the King is coming to take vengeance upon them that know not the Father, nor obey this gospel. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Holy Bible. Okay, Yasha'Allah, I hope this is edifying. The Father's not going to spare none of us, and He's not going to have pity on us. You blacks, Hispanics, native of Indian and Negro descent, you need to stop living the ways of this world, or burn here in Babylon the Great, the United Snakes. Hope this is edified. You want to bring this out on Holy Shabbat, giving all praise and glory to Abba Yahweh, Ba'ashem HaMashiach Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakam Kadash, the true and the only God. Point blank, all the gods of the world are idols. Matter of fact, let's bring out a couple of precepts. Let's go get that. Let's get that. Psalms 96 through the Spirit. Let's go to the book of Psalms. And 96 talk about these gods. There's only one, and that's the true God of Israel. Point blank, period. 96, and I'm going to start reading from the 4th verse. Well, actually, I'm going to read from the top. Psalms 96 and verse 1. Oh, sing unto Yahweh a new song. Sing unto Yahweh all the earth. Sing unto Yahweh, bless his name. Show forth his salvation from day to day. Verse 3, Psalm 96 and 3, declare his glory amongst the heathen, his wonders amongst all people. Verse 4, for Yahweh is great and greatly to be praised. He is to be feared above all gods. Verse 5, Psalm 96 and verse 5, for all the gods of the nations are idols. That means all of you people bowing down to all these other idols, you're committing idolatry. Okay, you're gonna burn here, thus saith the Lord. For the gods of the nations are idols, but Yahweh made the heavens. Okay, point blank, period. Hope this is edifying Yasha'Allah, giving all praise and glory to Abba Yahweh. Gotta stay most high blessed, endure to the end. The kingdom is nigh. And with that I say, Shabbat Shalom.